With a pro wrestling legend giving an update on his health and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Looking forward to her third marquee WrestleMania match, Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair told Fightful, "I'm excited, like you said, to main event the first one, and then the second one I came out with a HBCU band, and then I wrapped up a year-long feud with Becky Lynch and walked out as Raw Women's Champion, and after that WrestleMania, someone came up to me and tells me that I missed WrestleMania. I'm like, oh, that means next year I'm going to have to go three-peat. So that's my goal, is to go three-peat. But each Mania, I've been in the ring with amazing women, and I couldn't have done it without them. I'm excited to go in and have another banger at WrestleMania." Despite originally being set to appear on Raw, Trish Stratus would leave early, as Ringside News noted. Trish Stratus was backstage for Raw this week. We were able to also confirm that she was in a meeting with Triple H for a while, and then her participation in the show changed after that. With Chelsea Green absent from Raw this week, Sean Ross Sapp gave a reason why, saying, "One WWE talent wasn't allowed to make it to Raw, but they did a good job covering for it." On the February 20th episode of Raw, WWE did an angle where Chelsea Green was sent to Ottawa, Illinois, instead of Ottawa, Canada. This was to help bridge the gap until they were out of Canada, as the Canadian Green is currently landlocked and unable to return to Canada. As of now, Chelsea is still waiting for her green card and then will be able to return. Green has been landlocked for months, dating back to last summer. On Monday, Green was in NYC for the screening of The Last Match, a pro wrestling rock musical, which stars her husband, Matt Cardona. On the sessions, Nikki Bella talked about her time on the reality series Total Divas, as she said, "I remember one time Triple H saying perception is reality in this business, and we could perceive people however we want. I think that's what happened to Brie and I. At that time, they made people believe so much that Brie and I only cared about reality TV, and we were only there because of our men, because they were super cool and doing amazing things as well, like awesome. I think when we were in the run, and I know AJ spoke about it in her book, and I think she has regretted a lot because that could have been a time where we could have empowered women even more and created more change. That was still a fight, and that locker room was really difficult. A lot of women could speak about that. I think that was the time when I saw so many women with their heads down that I was like, oh, I'm gonna fight real hard for this. I didn't have to come back with reality cameras. I already had them with me, but I chose to come back to make sure that we showcase women's wrestling because I thought what women were doing was so badass and they weren't being appreciated for it. Honestly, Total Divas should have been praised even more, I felt, because what we were doing was we literally were at the point of almost beating the Kardashians in the ratings. We were shaking the world up and like, what a great time. We could have had the industry behind us, but instead they used it to turn it against us. That was really shocking to me because I was like, but wait, we're making great changes for women's wrestling. Why are you hating on it? I think as far as the boss, I felt like it was the first time he lost control of what he could make and not make, because when Brie and I won Diva of the Year, we got in trouble and I got yelled at. I remember we came back so happy and it was like, oh, because he brought in all these new viewers and the women are now voting for you and all these new women are here. Everyone around was on the floor like the Bella twins are getting yelled at for being successful because it wasn't what they wanted, because they were the storytellers. They push who they want the control to be behind. Perception is reality. That is WWE to a T. Even though the fans think they own it, no, they laugh in the back. No, we own you at the end of the day. So I truly believe Total Divas was the first thing they couldn't control. They couldn't control the success. They couldn't control what the mainstream was. Giving his take on AEW President Tony Khan calling Ariel Helwani a fraud over the latter's appearance on SmackDown, Booker T said on his Hall of Fame podcast, "It seemed like some high school stuff, man. It did not seem like something that a boss would be thinking about as far as Ariel Helwani making an appearance on WWE TV. The thing is, you never want to let someone see you sweat. You don't want to do that. You don't want to let someone see when you're upset about something, and it seemed like Tony Khan was upset about Ariel Helwani making an appearance on WWE TV after, I don't know, they had some kind of conversation or some kind of relationship. You know, I could be wrong, 100% I could be wrong. But it seemed like he was pretty much butthurt a little bit about Ariel Helwani being a part of WWE Weekend in Canada. Talking about Michael Cole's apparent shot at Khan at Elimination Chamber, where he called Helwani unbiased, Booker T said, "When you put yourself in a line of fire, you might get some shots." I think that's exactly what happened with that right there. Tony Khan bid on something that he shouldn't have. This should not even be a story today. It shouldn't even be a story. But it is because Tony Khan, there again, I always say, man, if you're going to be the boss, you gotta act like the boss. You gotta play that role, and you gotta play it 100%. To me, it does not seem like Tony Khan got what it takes to be that guy. I'm serious. That's just me. I don't know if you saw Jonathan Coachman. He chimed in on it as well. Jonathan Coachman, he threw Ariel Helwani under the bus. He was talking about how much time he put into the business, and Ariel, who didn't know anything about the business, who couldn't even get into a UFC event anymore, and has the nerve to talk to wrestlers and disrespect wrestlers in a certain way such as Booker T. I'm like, wait a minute, since when is Jonathan Coachman going to start defending me? I can defend myself. I don't need anybody defending me and throwing my name in there as far as me and Ariel Helwani having beef. Ariel knows he had beef with me. Ariel and I have buried the hatchet. To bring my name up is wrong more than anything. Ariel Helwani apologized to me. Coachman, whatever you're trying to do out there, bro, if you got a beef with Helwani, make it between you guys. Don't bring my name up in it. I just want to put that out there. I don't need any help with anybody. On Twitter, a fan would write this to WWE star Mustafa Ali after the star posted a highlight from his latest match on Raw. Like a bad penny, just can't get rid of this guy. Only a penny has a small amount of value. Ali is still worthless. Ali responded, "James, we say things we don't mean when we can't express love and gratitude. We even say things about others that we actually feel about ourselves. It's okay. I want you to know that I, Mustafa Ali, appreciate you. You are not worthless. You matter, James." Talking about his recovery from knee replacement surgery, Paul Wight told Metro UK, "Well, I spent 11 weeks in a wheelchair because I was waiting for them to build the implant for my knee because of my size. I had crushed all the bones in my knee. I was bleeding into my shin, so I've got a good pain tolerance, but when I say I rode the tire down to the rim, that's exactly what I did. But luckily, I still have all my ligaments in that knee. Everything's good there. It's a nice, brand new titanium joint, so it's good for 35 years. So I can parachute if I want to. Not that I'll ever jump out of an airplane. We all saw the movie Operation Dumbo Drop. I don't think that's me. We're good." Addressing rumors of having backstage heat in WWE, Melina told The Artist version 1, "This is the way it is for a lot of backstage rumors in wrestling where everybody says like, hey, I was difficult and I had an attitude and everything. If you know my personality, I don't have an attitude. I always do what I'm told. I do everything to the best of my ability. I don't talk back, like especially back then. Now, different. But back then, I always played it safe and I always did what everybody told me to do. I listened, never talked. I just loved what I did and I knew it was a blessing. I was very grateful every day I was there. So the backstage rumors thing, that's what people say when, you know, who knows where it originated from, who the source is. And then you have to consider the source and what their position was compared to mine, or if they were jealous, if they were female or if they're male and I turned down. What is it? When people kind of like try to flirt with you or whatever, then you kind of have to turn them down because you're taken. You never know their reaction. They hate me because I rejected them. And it's not a rejection, it's like I'm taken. So you never know where the source came from. Touching on the return of Edge to WWE, the wrestling blog revealed an interesting stipulation in his deal with the company, writing, "According to some reports I received, when Edge signed his contract back in 2020, one of the conditions from Edge was to not put a title on him. He wanted to have one last good run giving the fans what they've been waiting for years and helping the young talent." When it comes to WrestleMania 39 plans for Ronda Rousey, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio that Rousey and Shayna Baszler will have a match for the women's tag team title. As it was additionally noted, the plan is for them to become champions. Speaking of WrestleMania plans, Meltzer also said this on Wrestling Observer Radio about plans for Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar. I thought every match in Elimination Chamber was strong except the Lesnar match. The Lesnar match, you know, it was 4 minutes and had an explosive finish. It was a typical Lesnar match that they do. It was a way to get out of the match. Obviously, they're going with Bray Wyatt against Lashley, and they're going with Brock Lesnar versus Omos. Talking about the backstage environment in WWE, it seems talent, according to PW Insider, are walking on eggshells now that Vince McMahon has returned to the company and is preparing for a sale. With talent feeling uneasy, this sentiment is primarily shared by those working in corporate as well as backstage. While the overall morale is still up from previous years, there is concern for employees over the prospect of a sale. With a sale likely to take place this year, it remains to be seen if these feelings will subside. In some unfortunate news, former ECW and WWE star Stevie Richards is having health complications as he took to Instagram to share this update. The last 4 weeks, especially the last one, have really been something else. We aren't quite at the finish line yet, but hopefully the road to recovery starts ASAP. I will be exploring what has happened and documenting my road to recovery on the YouTube channel as well as here. Speaking of the YouTube channel, we have plenty of videos to edit and publish, so there will still be new content as we work through this. Please subscribe to stay updated and for the normal fitness reviews. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.